Welcome to the NCCDP YouTube channel. I'm your host, Alexandria, and joining us today is Ronda Wilkin. Welcome to the channel.
Thank you.
So before we get into our topics today, do you mind just sharing a bit about who you are and what you do?
Oh, thank you. And thank you for inviting me, Alex. I appreciate it. So my name is Ronda Wilkin, and for my entire career, 35 years, I've been in health and human services with the last 20 in direct senior care. I'm actually an administrator, and I've managed a number of large communities, including those that are high acuity, high clinical memory care only communities. Last year, I ventured out on my own and I opened up Dementia Partner. I'm a geriatric care manager, a senior advocate, and of course, an Alzheimer's and dementia practitioner. I earned my CDP back in 2017. And then in 2023, became one of the national trainers. So I'm actually one of the organization's certified national trainers. And I love going out and helping other professionals. I love helping families through this journey and helping people through the journey. I've been there myself. My mother was third generation, so it's touched us all.
Yeah.
I have a lot of community involvement, including being a board member of the Alzheimer's Association here in the Southland chapter.
That's awesome. Your resume is stacked. You're doing so much.
Thank you. It feels good. Yeah, it does. It just feels good to give back and to help and to work for hugs and love. And yeah, that's the best part of it.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
So, Rhonda, I've heard often that words matter, the words that we say, I mean, in general, but specifically in healthcare and dementia care, words really matter. Can you share a bit about that?
Absolutely. I've actually been correcting people for more than 2 decades. You might call these some of my pet peeves and publish some articles on this one. Let me ask you this, Alex. What's the difference between a 2-year-old and an 82-year-old?
80 years.
80 years. You knew the answer.
Well, that was my guess.
80 years of life. 80 years of life. 82-year-olds are not 2-year-olds. And so we need to use words that show respect and dignity. And so here's my list of some of the ones that I often correct people on. My first big pet peeve, diapers. We know that our loved ones with dementia are often facing incontinence challenges. Adults don't wear diapers. So I will often say, no, they're wearing an adult brief, a brief. It's just more dignified, right? Placement. We place a glass on the table. We don't place a person. So what we're doing is we're honestly helping to relocate an adult into a better environment if we're moving somebody from their home into a senior living facility. Facilities are medical institutions. Communities is the correct word for assisted livings that we should be using. They're homes, they're loving, they're community-like. They're not facilities. That's medical. That's not what we're doing. These are residential care communities. Another word for me is locked. A lot of times in our dementia care communities or dementia care neighborhoods, they are secure. They are not locked. We are not locking people.
Yeah, that sounds so bad.
It does sound bad. It is. Now, it's made a little bit more difficult by an egress system to have somebody exit the community or the neighborhood, but they're not locked. We can't lock people in. It's actually against Department of Social Services.
Yeah, it's very dehumanizing.
So I prefer instead of locked, I like the word secured. This is another one. Bibs. Sometimes as we age, we need a clothing protector. Adults don't wear bibs. Bibs are for 2-year-olds. So use the word, if somebody needs an extra layer on top of their shirt, we're offering a clothing protector. Let's use words that are more dignified. Here's another one. Feeders. I don't like feeders. A lot of times as somebody with dementia travels down their journey, they lose their skills to be able to help themselves eat. They're not feeders. They're residents or humans who need our assistance. Come on. Feeders, those are the little fish at the bottom of the fish tank. Da-dun, da-dun. That's a feeder. Another one that I hear sometimes, we know that with some dementias, we get behaviors. I've heard people say they're having a tantrum. Adults aren't having tantrums. That's a 2-year-old. 2-year-old has a tantrum. Adults, maybe they're having a challenge. There's just kinder, better words that we can use. Behaviors is another one. People with dementia aren't always having behaviors. They're really trying to communicate with us because every behavior is a form of communication. Something hurts, they're uncomfortable. Don't look at them that way. It's dignity, it's respect, right?
I feel like even just behaviors, just like saying it like that makes it like invalidating whatever they're feeling or going through too.
You absolutely
Or
are.
just being like, oh, it's their behaviors, they're showing behaviors, instead of being like, okay, they're upset because something's wrong. Like, or like something is going on, whether like we think it's like, maybe to us it's not a big deal, but it's still important to this person that's having quote unquote behaviors. Like, it's very invalidating, I feel like, just to be like,
it is. And we actually need to try and find out what's bothering them.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody could have, if they've lost their vocabulary and their ability to communicate and their words are nonsensical at this point, or they're using the wrong words, it's frustrating. It'd be frustrating for you and I.
Yeah.
Maybe they have an ingrown toenail and we need to look at their feet and they're in excruciating pain. So now we have a challenge. Now they're communicating with us. I once heard somebody say nobody over 70 or everybody over 70 has a little ache or pain. So if most of our sweet family members and residents over 70 that we're taking care of have a dementia or an Alzheimer's, maybe they have a little pain. Maybe they have an ache and pain. Maybe their back hurts. And another word is escaped. I don't like escaped. So again, a lot of times we've secured our homes. We've secured a memory care neighborhood. So the correct word there is somebody that would be exit seeking or somebody that eloped. Nobody escaped.
They're locked and they're escaping.
Not locked. They're not escaped. They haven't escaped. It's just not. It's not true.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of the words that, we kind of want to change into something else, a lot of people are, when you hear a lot of those other words, like the diapers, the behaviors, the escape, the locked, all those things, I feel like that's also partly like contributing to a lot of like this different stigma or stereotypes too, because it's not fully expressing like an accurate, representation of what is actually going on or like what's actually being said.
Absolutely. I mean, just think if we could, what these small changes could have huge implications on the outcomes, on the dignity, on the, they're my pet peeves.
Yeah. It makes sense. I get it. I mean, it's really kind of like you said, it's very like, what's the word? There's a different word I can't think of, but like dehumanizing.
It is absolutely dehumanizing. Yeah. It absolutely is.
Like these are adult people that have lived so much life, like you mentioned.
They have so much life.
Again, them like a baby.
Ask yourself the difference between a 2-year-old and an 82-year-old. That I'll stand up in front of a classroom and I'll ask that, and my teams will look at me like, why? Well, there's a reason. Yeah. Adults don't wear diapers.
I want to touch a bit upon using the word communities instead of facility. So how are communities different, and like specifically with like memory care communities?
Sure, absolutely. Thank you. So facilities are actually medical terms. So that's where it came from, right? We know that way back when, many, many moons ago, people with dementia or an Alzheimer's were cared for in a nursing community or a nursing facility. A hospital is a facility. A skilled nursing, SNF, is a skilled nursing facility. And then came the better assisted livings. And we're residential, we're home-like. And so we need to stop using the medical term and start using community, because that's what it is. It's a loving, caring community. And that's where the difference actually is. We just need to use the right terminology. For memory care, I like how a lot of communities now, if it's a full assisted living with independent, assisted, and memory care, will call that section of their community the neighborhood. I think that is just so kind and gentle. A few of the organizations I've worked for are full standalone memory care communities because all we cared for were people with dementias and Alzheimer's. So therefore, that would be a community.
Thank you, Rhonda, for joining us and sharing your wisdom with us. I learned a lot myself. I'm sure the people watching have learned a lot as well. Thank you all for watching. I hope you gathered something from this. If you would like to learn more or maybe even become certified as a dementia practitioner, our website and social media will always be linked down below. Also, let us know if there's any specific topics you would like us to cover. We want to hear from you and make content that you are looking for. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.